Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Kunal Patel, and in continuation with our Pandas library series, today we are going to learn updating rows and columns in a data frame. Okay, so uh, how you can update the values of rows and columns in a data frame, right? So first of all, we are taking the our standard example that import pd, right? Df is equals to pd dot read CSV, and I have one data set, our standard data set, student data set. Okay, and then I'm going to print it. Okay, so here you can see that we have roll number, first name, last name, branch, and a city. Okay, now let's start with the columns first of all. So if I want to get the name of all the columns, so I can write columns and it will provide me the names of all the columns, right? So roll number, first name, last name, branch, and city. Okay. Now, suppose say for example, if I want to change the name of any of this particular column directly, so I can write df dot columns is equals to directly you can write. Okay. Let me copy paste this. Okay. Now here instead of this, you can say, suppose for example, I want to change students roll number. This is, and if I execute it and if I put the df, then you can see students roll number. So this way you can change the particular column name directly by writing df dot columns is equals to you are providing the list of columns and then you can change it. Okay, another change you can make, that suppose say for example, if I want to make all the columns capitalized, means I want to change all the columns to the uppercase, then I can write the list comprehension, right? This concept is known as the list comprehension and it is very powerful. Acts in df dot columns. Okay, and then if I execute it, then you can see now all the columns are in a capital letters, right? So this way you can change all the columns as a capital letters. Okay, right. You can reverse these also by writing the same function, and here you can just provide the lower function and just print, then all the particular columns are in a lower case. Okay, so you can change it, right? So now let's go ahead, and you can see that here we have these particular column names, but in a column names it is not advisable to have a space, right? So suppose if I want to replace this particular space between the first name and between the last name, right? Then I can change it. Okay. So if I want to replace this particular thing with the underscore sign, then I can write df dot columns dot, we are going to use a string function dot, we are going to replace. So here space is replaced by underscore, right? If I execute and if I run, then you can see now all these particular column names are with underscore sign, right? So this way you can replace this with any special character, right? But it looks nice. It is advisable to have a underscore in naming convention. Okay, right. Now suppose say for example, here this is like it's a big name of this particular column, right? It's a students underscore roll underscore number. If I want to change it back, right? So I can rename it. Okay, so I can rename it into bracket. I can provide the columns, and here I can go for the key value pair, right? So this is my old value, students roll number. Okay, and after that I can provide the another value, updated value, that is a roll number. Okay, right? And if I execute it, then you can see this is reflected. Now if I print the df, then this particular change is not permanent. Okay, so if you want to make it permanent change, then you can go for the in place is equal to true. Okay, and then if you execute it, and then if you run it again, then you will find now your changes are permanent. Your changes are permanent. Okay, so this is all about the columns, how you can deal with the columns. Okay, now let's go for the rows, right? If I want to update the value of rows, so first of all let me fetch the rows. So in my previous videos we have seen lock and ilock, right, to fetch the row value. So let me first fetch the value, that is 6. Okay, so at sixth index, my value is roll number 107, name is Anand Patel, then branch is civil, and the city is the Baroda. Okay, so this way you can fetch the value. Now I want to change the particular value. Okay, right? So what I can write, so again I go and go for df dot lock, which index, sixth index. Okay, then equal to, again I need to provide the rows. So I just want to provide the values, like all the values you need to provide. So right now I just want to change the particular branch name. I just want to change the particular branch name only, right? So I will keep all other values same as it is, Anand, right? Patel, and then instead of civil, I want I civil engineering, and that is a Baroda. That is a Baroda. Okay, so only I am changing over here the value of branch from civil to civil engineering. Okay, so let me execute this code. Okay, and then just I need to print it. So you can see now the value is changed from this particular civil to civil engineering. So here it is this is our old value civil, and this is our new updated value, that is a civil engineering. Okay, right? So this way you can change the particular values. Okay, now again, suppose if I want to change the particular value, okay, so how I can change? Suppose if I have uh, okay, if we have a 50 columns, right? So here only we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 columns, right? But if I have 50 columns and if I want to change only 2 columns, okay, right? Then I don't need to go for this. I don't need to provide all the values again and again, right? It is a very tedious task to provide all 50 columns values here, and you just for two columns I need to provide all the 50 columns value, right? It is not feasible task. So to minimize that, right? So how you can do that? So first of all, df dot loc, okay, which index value for which row I want to change, so sixth number. Okay, now from 50 columns, which columns I need to change? So I want to change the branch and the city. I want to change the branch and the city. Okay, so now for this, what value I want to provide? So again I need to provide the list, So instead of civil engineering, I want only civil now. Okay, I want only civil. And instead of Baroda, I want Vadodara. Okay, right? And then if I execute it, and now let me run it, right? So now you can see over here, my branch is again change to civil and city from Baroda to Vadodara, right? But here you can see now I don't need to provide all the 50 columns value, right? As here I need to provide all the values, all 7 column values, all 5 column values, right? But if you go for this way, then it is not necessary. So it is always preferable way for the multiple columns, right? When the columns are more numbers, columns are in a more numbers. Okay, right. Now, suppose say for example, if I want to change the single value, okay, then how I can change it, right? So there is one another function like LOC. Let me first of all execute with the LOC. Okay, LOC. Then 6 index I want to change, and again I need to change my city back to the Baroda, right? So Baroda, I want to change it. Okay, and then if I print it, then you can see now again my value is changed. So you can also update a single column value if, or single row value, right? Like this. So this is Baroda. Now the same function I have with like similarly like LOC and iLog, there is a add function. Okay, there is an add function, right? So same thing I can write over here. Let me copy paste this, and instead of LOC I just go for the add function, and here just let me execute Baroda Express. Okay, and then just go for the DF, right? So here you can see that is a Baroda Express, right? So add function is same, work similarly like LOC function. Okay, right? So this is all about the particular you can say updating the row values, right? When you have a multiple columns, and if you want to go for the specific columns. Okay, now this is something different scenario I have, right? Suppose say for example, if I want to find the particular you can say name according to the city, right? So what I can write over here, so for that I'm just going to create one filter. Okay, and in that filter df into city, I want to go for the city name based on, and it is Anand. Okay, right? And then df dot, you can say loc, I want to grab the row of that particular city. So for that I can go for field, and then column I can go for the field. Then you can see, or instead of let me go for directly df field first of all, then I will show you. So it will fetch all the you can say values, all the student names who lives in Anand, right? So right now we have only one name, that with that Anand city. Okay, now suppose say for example, if I want to change again the last name of that particular student from Patel to another, right? So I can change it. Okay, so same function, same thing I just need to go for, and instead of you can say this, I just need to go for last name, last underscore name, sorry. Okay, and then I just need to provide what last name I want to, Abraham, right? John Abraham. Okay, so then you can see it will give me the error. It will give me the not error, it is giving me the warning here. Okay, right. So you can go to this particular link and find the documentation with like versus view versus a copy. So here you can say these changes are not going to be made as a permanent change. Okay, and if you want, then if you want to make these changes permanent, then you can always go for the LOC. So let me show you how you can avoid these kind of warnings, right? So you can just go for the LOC, and we can go for this kind of syntax. And now if I execute and if I paste, then you can see now the John is Abraham instead of Patel. Okay, right? So this way you can do the particular specific filter, and after that you can make the changes, right? So it is very easy. It is very easy. Okay, right. Now if I want to go for the multiple rows, right? So suppose, say for example, here I have a city names, all the city names, right? So you can notice over here that the first letter of each and every city name is a capital. I want to make all the city name as a smaller, so df and city. Okay, then we can go for string function, and we can go for the lower function. So if I execute, then you can see all the city name is in lowercase. All the city name is in lowercase. Okay, right? And if you print df again, then you can notice that changes are not permanent. Okay, right? So suppose if you want to make changes permanent, so here is a different way. Okay, right? So first of all, for which column you want, then I want to go for the city column, and is equals to, okay, and put it like this. So if I execute it, and now again if I go for the data frame, then you can see it will change all the city names, okay, in a lowercase, right? Suppose, say for example, I want to revert back, then I can go for the another function, capitalize function. Okay, if you execute it, and again you can go for the same results, right? So I hope everyone got the idea how you can update the rows and how you can update the column values in a different ways. Okay, right? So we'll see more function related with this functionality for updating rows and columns in my next video. So please stay tuned and subscribe to my channel and like the videos if you found this information is useful for your project and research work, right? Okay, everyone, bye.